Your phone buzzes. Someone texts. It's happening. You look outside and everything still looks normal, which is exactly what makes people lose time. Because in real life, the window to leave cleanly isn't hours. It can be minutes. Not grab snacks and debate routes minutes either. More like roads clog, signals die, and suddenly you're boxed in minutes. And here's the ugly part. Most people don't waste that window because they're dumb. They waste it because they're trying to be certain. They're trying to make the perfect decision in a moment that doesn't allow perfect anything. What separates the people who get out from the people who get stuck usually isn't strength, luck, or gear. It's a decision they made before the clock started. Here are the 6 pieces of that decision, in plain English. First, stop debating and trigger a pre-made decision. The most dangerous thing you can do in the first minute of a real threat is start a group discussion. Not because thinking is bad, but because stress makes people stall. Everyone starts asking, are we sure? Should we wait? What if it's nothing? So you need a simple trigger, a go rule, something you decide in calm conditions that flips you from normal life into action. It sounds like this. If we hear sustained explosions close enough to rattle windows, we leave, no waiting. Or, if there's a confirmed report of violence moving toward our area, we leave immediately. You're not building a courtroom case. You're choosing a threshold. Once that threshold is crossed, you execute. No arguing, no scrolling, no waiting for the perfect official message to arrive. Because official messages are often late, unclear, or both. And even when they're accurate, they don't magically reopen roads. Second, your bag is already packed, or you're leaving without one. If you try to pack after the trigger hits, you will burn time you don't have. You'll stand in a room trying to remember what matters, and you'll grab the wrong stuff first. Chargers, random paperwork, things that feel comforting. So keep this brutally simple. You have a go bag that lives by the door, not in a closet, not under the bed, by the door. And it's not a camping store explosion of gear. It's the basics that keep you alive and functional. Water for the first day, basic first aid, cash and small bills, copies of critical documents in a waterproof sleeve, a charged battery pack, ready, a simple change of clothes, and any required daily medications enough for a few days. That's it. If you need more than that, you didn't run out of gear. You ran out of time. Third, your route and your backup route are decided before anything happens. If your plan relies on your phone guiding you in the middle of a panic event, you're betting your life on networks behaving normally during a mass emergency. That's a bad bet. Signals get overloaded. Power goes out. Towers go down. Sometimes service works and then vanishes right when you need it. So you need 2 routes that you already know. Not saved in maps. Known. You should be able to explain them without looking anything up. Route A is your fastest clean exit. Route B avoids the obvious main arteries where traffic tends to lock up first. You also need a simple rule for when you switch to the backup route. For example, if we hit stop traffic that isn't moving, we switch immediately, no sitting there hoping. And if your vehicle becomes unusable, you need to know what your walking version looks like. Not a fantasy march. A realistic plan based on distance, fitness, weather, and who's with you. Fourth, everyone in the household has a role, and the roles start instantly. Families lose time because everyone tries to do everything at once. 2 people grab the same bag. 2 people look for the same kid. Everyone crowds the hallway. Someone disappears to just grab one more thing. So assign roles now, while it's calm. 1 person grabs a bag and goes straight to the vehicle. 1 person accounts for kids and dependents and moves them straight to the vehicle. If there's a 3rd adult, they do a single fast sweep of a short list. Medications if they aren't already packed. Documents if they aren't already packed. Pets. That's it. And that sweep needs a hard time limit. Not until I feel done. A limit. Because the sweep is where people accidentally turn a quick exit into a full repacking session. Roles prevent collisions. Time limits prevent regret spirals. 5th, your destination and your out-of-area contact are chosen before you move. Leaving without a destination isn't evacuation. It's wandering. You don't want to be making destination decisions while your heart is pounding and your options are shrinking. So pick a destination that's specific. A real address, a person who knows you might arrive, a place outside the likely impact zone. Then pick 1 out-of-area contact to act as the family hub. 1 person outside your local area who can still communicate when local networks are jammed. When you leave, You send one simple message to that contact. We're leaving now. Route A, heading to this address. Anyone not with you sends the same kind of message. That contact becomes the one place everyone checks in so you don't have family members chasing rumors and driving into chaos looking for each other. Sixth, you leave before you feel certain, or you probably don't leave at all. This is the hardest one, because your brain hates it. Your brain wants confirmation. It wants one more look, one more update, one more minute. And that's exactly how people get trapped. Not because they didn't have gear, but because they waited for a perfect signal that never arrives in time. So define your threshold and respect it. If your threshold is confirmed threat within a certain distance, and that condition hits, you go. If your threshold is roads closing and crowds forming in the direction we'd need to travel, you go. Waiting after your threshold is crossed isn't caution. It's delay dressed up as caution. Now here's the part I want you to do tonight, because it's simple and it changes everything. Have a 5-minute conversation with your household. Pick the threshold. Assign the roles. Pick the destination. Pick the out-of-area contact. Put the bag by the door. That's it. Because the people who survive short evacuation windows aren't the ones who pack fastest. They're the ones who are already ready, and they don't argue with themselves when it's time to move. And if you're thinking, my partner will never take this seriously, that's exactly why you talk about it now, calmly. No fear-mongering, just reality. Because in a short evacuation window, the most dangerous person isn't the stranger outside. It's a person beside you who's never thought about any of this and freezes when the clock starts.